What's good? We in the building. Back again. Who is it? Dilated. In the house again. Said the pack of men. Ladies and gentlemen, front, left, right. Back again. In the house again. Back again, back again, back again, back again. Going back again. What's good? It's your man Hurykane with the Kloak and Dagger Godcast. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, yo, look. We're about to talk about Ukraine, and then we're going to get off into the last of the Resident Evil incident. I'm just waiting on my co-host to pop up and get it started. But to then, shit, man, let's get off in the monologue shit. At the end of the day, man, there's a lot of crazy shit going on. A lot of crazy shit going on. This motherfucking Ukraine shit. That shit. Let's just say, man, watch the movie Wag the Dog. Y'all will understand what's going on. But today's shit, man, today was a cool day. You know, it was cool outside. Peaceful. You know, it was real peaceful. Maybe because I was just stuck in meditation and taking notes and studying and shit. You know, maybe that's why. But this is the Kloak and Dagger Godcast starring your man's Hurykane. My co-host Ocean Dweller should be here in a minute. And we're gonna get off into it. So shit. I have to light the L up. You already know what it is. But yeah, if you don't know what the Kloak and Dagger Godcast is, it's just, you know, two people from different walks of life coming together, breaking the truth, talking about these topics, you know, and I'm hitting the powers that be where it hurts. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hitting you with the truth, sharing perspectives. Let's get it. All right. Add to the stream. What's good?
What's good? What's good?
Chilling. We in the building. Ocean Dwellers in the building. Welcome to the Kloak and Dagger Podcast.
What's up? What's up? Let's get it. Let's get to it. How are you doing?
How was your day? Yep, it was a nice day, peaceful, just, you know, taking notes and, you know, meditating, you know, and, you know, just, you know, trying to be cool, smoking good.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Know,
yeah, I got some seltzer beer. And yeah, that's fun. I don't got no good. I don't got no good to smoke, but that's all right.
It's all good. It's all good. So, what is you going to bring with this Ukraine shit? Let's get off of this Ukraine first. Get it out the way.
Man, I thought you were gonna start first.
Oh, me? All right. All right.
I want to hear about this. You know, the Coof. I'm gonna call it the Coof because it sounds more venereal and gross. The Coof, the Coof.
Yeah. Got you. I'm going to the article right now.
Yeah. I want to hear about this. It's a new development that I haven't really heard about or seen. So I'm really interested in what you're gonna bring to the table here.
Yeah. On the Coof. I call it the Resident Evil virus, but yeah, it's on the businessinsider.com. That's where I found the article. There's another place too, but this one says even mild Coof can damage the brain, affecting a person's ability to perform complex tasks. Study finds. Now let's get off into it. Oh man, this is crazy. say a new years-long study of hundreds of older adults in the UK. Oh, that's over there with my Doctor Who niggas. And they suggest that the coof can damage the brain, reducing amount of gray matter, affecting the health of the brain tissue, and potentially impairing a person's ability to perform complex tasks. The brain changes seen after the coof infections were subtle, reflecting small differences between infected and uninfected participants. Hmm. Okay, so they studying our brain since this whole shit started. Okay, right, but the brain differences were still statistically significant, even though more than 95% of COOF positive patients in the study had mild or asymptomatic infections, which didn't require hospitalization. Okay, so how do they know? But anyway, an indication that the presence of the COOF was responsible for the changes. We're okay now. All right, this is a quote. They say we're not talking about gross pathology here that neurologists will be able to immediately identify looking at the scan. We're talking about subtle differences of 0.2 to 2%. Lead study author, goddamn, Grinnell Douard, Douaud. I think I pronounced it right. A neuroimaging expert at the University of Oxford told the Inside. Okay, now Oxford University is one of the places where the elites go. I know it's Oxford, Harvard, Princeton, and it's some more other places. But yeah. Okay, what else we got? The only reason the researchers in the study were able to pick the differences out is because they scanned the brains of the 785. Okay, that's a crazy number. 785. They did more. They did more. 785 participants twice. They tested them twice. Okay. Once before the scamdemic began, and then again in early 2021. Wait a minute. They were studying the brain before the scamdemic began. Oh, these niggas are some sneaky bastards. Okay, and then and then in early 2021, after about half of them have been infected with SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes the actual coof. Okay.
That's really interesting, because gray matter is a central part of like the nervous system and how the body operates in the brain, and it's also has to do with the synapses and the capillaries in your cells. So it's pretty crazy because when the jibby jab with the jibby jab, they're saying that is giving people HIV, which is like immunocompromised. It's immunocompromising.
Yeah.
So the coof itself already affects your gray matter. And then
what the hell is gray matter? I do not understand. What's the gray matter? Do you know? I don't know.
Gray matter. Okay, gray matter. Gray matter is a major component of the central nervous system, consisting of neuronal cell bodies, glial cells, synapses, and capillaries. Gray matter is distinguished from white matter in that it contains numerous cell bodies and relatively few myelinated axons. See, I'm not a medic or anything like that, so I'm not too sure what all those words mean. But white matter contains relatively few cell bodies and is composed chiefly of long-ranged axons. So it just really does have to do with your central nervous system and how the color difference arises from white matter, mainly from the whiteness of myelin, which is separate from melanin, obviously. But gray matter actually has a very light gray color with yellowish or pinkish hues. So it just really has to do with your like blood vessels and how your nervous system operates, and just helps those cells, do their thing.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
it.
also
Oh
has
my
to do with your
god! I felt
intelligence.
like I was in class. Like, oh shit.
But yeah, gray matter also does have to do with like memory, and your
Memory.
intellectual capacity.
Woo! That's what they mean by performing complex tasks.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So that's impairing people's ability to think clearly, to have good memory, to like memory recall and all of that. So
that
that's
is
really
crazy.
interesting. So like the Coof already fucks shit up, and then you're gonna go take the jibby jab, which will compromise your immune system further.
Holy shit!
Well,
Turn people into
that's like a double death going on right there.
yeah. That's actually turning people into a brainless zombie.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And shout out to Low Key,
Wow.
because like I remember one of our lives that we did, and I was like, I was having a hard time, because a lot of people in my family and stuff, had that had to face that choice of like, well, do I lose my job or my livelihood, or do I take this jibby jab? And like I don't want to like call the people that I love and care about, brainless zombies, but we'll see.
I do.
We'll see in due time, right? We'll see in due time.
Man. Oh shit. All right. Oh man. But I call my family zombies. Huh?
But
Y'all took me off zombies.
I think my family. I mean, fruit don't fall too far from the tree. I always say. So I'm pretty smart in some ways. I would like to think. So I'm fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. So I'd like to believe that my family is also very very capable and very intelligent. So it kind of sucks. Like, are they going to start losing brain cells down the line? I don't know. We're all very questionable in some other ways as well. So who knows?
Right. Oh man. Oh shit. I pressed the fucking button. Let me go back to this article real quick. God damn, where'd it go? God damn it.
You just lost it. You're losing it. Are you losing your brain cells, bro? No. It's all
When
that
I
weed.
picked it up, I made a mistake and pressed the button. I'm trying to figure out
I'm kidding.
I'm trying to figure out which was the article. I'm looking for the insider. Cause like that's what I was on. I was on the insider. Oh shit. I might have to type it in. Yep, let me just type it in.
And that's how I feel, Paco. Like, I'd rather like let my immune system do its thing. Like, I'd rather let my what's it called? My immune system is pretty. I've not had the Coof once. My dad just has it again, and it's the fifth time. My dad has had the Coof 5 times. 5 times.
Damn.
How do you? He's not Jimmy Jab, but he's got the Coof again. He's got the Coof again. I've never had.
Wow.
They were all in this apartment with me. All 4 of them. John, my sister, my mom, and my dad, all under one roof, had the Coof, and I still didn't get the shit. So I don't know what that means. I'm the chosen. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that. So
Real talk, real talk. All the spiritual people I know don't got it. They say they do the same thing I do. They just meditate,
right,
eat right,
right.
exercise, and they cool. But everybody else,
I also think it does have to do with like our belief, like it's like, do you believe in magic? When people don't believe in magic, it don't exist, kind of thing. So I don't know how much that has to do with it either, but that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it doesn't affect me like everybody else that's been so preoccupied with the Coof and this like this pandemic agenda have been consumed by it emotionally, intellectually, and bodily. So it's kind of just consumes you entirely.
yeah, that shit
You gotta
crazy.
watch what where attention go, like where your attention goes, energy flows. So like, do you want that shit to be, bro? I haven't been sick in 4 years. Like, yeah, like I mean, I've had like I get like cold sweat sometimes or something, maybe like a little bit of sniffles, but I've never had like really anything to be worried about,
Right.
Maybe I've had like
Same
food poisoning from eating like shitty food.
here.
But yeah,
All
it's like,
I had was like when the weather changed, I get the sniffles and the crazy allergies, and my eyes get all puffy, and acid reflux. That's it. That's it. That is it. All right. Yeah. Wait a minute. All right. Cool. Yep. I found my spot. There you go. There you go. But yeah, shoot. Like, I ain't been sick, real shit. Like the last time I really been sick, I was like 14, 15. That was like the last time I really been sick. But like that was it.
Yeah, like the only time I mean, when I was young, I got pneumonia when I was like a newborn, and my dad pulled a gun out on somebody on the highway because like they cut us off and were trying to prevent me from getting to the hospital, which is a really fun, interesting story.
Yo, real shit. I do the same thing. Like, yo,
Yeah, like
motherfucker, gotta get it off.
I got a baby coughing up blood in the back seat. Like, get the fuck away from me, you know?
For real, but that's the for real. It's real shit. All right, but here we go. They say the participants in the study aged 51 to 81 were scanned during the first year of the scamdemic before Delta and Omicron transformers emerged, and likely before any of them got the vax that thing up. At the time, many people were infected with the Coof, lost their sense of taste and smell. And that was reflected in this study as the researchers saw the biggest changes in the corresponding olfactory areas of the brain. So there's a part of the brain called the olfactory.
Well, yeah, there's so many different components of the brain. And I also want to bring up that the loss of gray matter is also the causes of that is schizophrenia as well and psychotic episodes. So if we think of the Coof as more of a psychic phenomenon, a psychological phenomenon, then we can like look at that and be like, well, if it's actually just more of a psychic and psychological phenomenon, then are these people really losing gray matter because of the Coof or these psychotic episodes and stuff that's being kind of projected onto society through the media and propaganda?
Now that is deep because now we're going to the placebo effect.
Exactly.
Oh shit. These motherfuckers. Oh my god, I'm sick after I cough. And they get sick the next day.
Well, it's also like, people who are like hypochondriacs, right? Those people that are always worried about getting sick and they like super wash their hands all the time and all that stuff. They end up getting sicker than most people because they're just so preoccupied and like consumed by this idea of illness and not catching it that they inevitably just make themselves catch it.
Yup. Which leads back to another thing. Whatever a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think you fucked up, you fucked up.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And that kind of goes in, and then you can finish up what you're saying, but that could lead into this whole the Ukrainian shenanigans, right? But yeah, go ahead and finish up what you're saying.
Say okay. But we also saw some global changes in the overall size of the brain, which had shrunk a bit more. Wow, the brain can shrink. What the fuck? It's
the brain can definitely shrink. And I also do think it can expand. And that's also like another theory that's kind of I've been looking into is like the expanding Earth theory. We could probably talk about that later date.
Right. All right. It said people who had the Coof scored lower than their peers, matched by age, gender, and risk factors on the neuropsychological trading making list, a dot connecting exercise that is often used to measure executive functioning and cognitive decline, assessing how accurately and quickly participants can scan and process numbers and letters and effectively switch between tasks. Petrie Bouchan Dandy. Well, his last name is Blachandani. Balcanandy. Right, I know, right?
Some of these people's names, man, it's like, what the hell? Especially when you think about like the conversion and development of language over time. Like a lot of these people, like their names kind of have transformed, and it's like, how the hell did you get that shit?
Right. For real, dog. It sounds like a royal family member. But it's a professor of radiology, neuroscience, and psychiatry. God damn, this nigga really wants your brain. This nigga trying to get promoted to the government. Like, yo, and a director of advanced neuroimaging research program at Mount Sinai School of Medicine. This nigga wants your brain. Who was not involved in the study, said it is valuable and impactful piece of research because the study was well controlled and the scanning protocol was consistent across participants. In this way, they can truly get a better picture of what's happening post-infection and whether or not the changes in the brain were truly attributed to the infection, she said. Oh, so it's a female.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, well they're also questioning that in that sentence. She's questioning there if it's really from the Coof itself. Also, so is it a psychological phenomenon that we're dealing with here? Because I mean, I really believe all of this is psychological warfare. Like World War III will be deemed a charade in the end of this, and it's all just a sideshow for these oligarchs and these elites to kind of consume and come after our brains. I mean, like who else wants our brain? Elon Musk, Elon Flux,
Yeah.
you know?
Elon fucking Musk. Yep.
Yeah, Elon Flux. Like, you know, he wants your brain too. He wants to put a thing in there so you can't, you know, and they want, you know, the Neuralink will be hooked up to the IoT, the Internet of Things. And it's just kind of like, wow, like what the hell? Like, don't these people already have enough? You know?
Exactly. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like they're gonna damage your brain, so you're gonna have no choice but to run to this Neuralink. Going back to what Low Key said, we're gonna fuck up the gas prices, so y'all gonna run to this electric car. It's like Elon is gonna be the evil supervillain of the world.
Oh yeah, and then like Low Key saying, you know, what if CV-19 never really happened? Well, technically it didn't, but we create it. You know, as we create a reality, it happens. So like it may not have been a thing until we made it a thing.
Yep, till we made it a thing. But if we want to have evidence, we gotta go to Dr. Fuckboy funding gain of function research in Wuhan. So if it is real, we got a paper trail on Dr. Fuckboy in China. So if we should be going to war with anybody, it should be those bastards.
Oh yeah. Like they should be, and plus like it's funny because like these elites and stuff, they are cutthroat because they have no allegiance or loyalty to anyone, even themselves. Like I mean, it's crazy because if you look at like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and go back to like the WikiLeaks emails, you know, Hillary Clinton, you know, propped up Donald Trump as the Pied Piper candidate to go against her to, you know, discredit all of her opponents, including her. So it's just really interesting how cutthroat these people are. Like they will just screw over their mama and their grandma and their own children just to get ahead and even backpedal themselves. You know, it's just so weird. Like they're even at war with each other and themselves and us. Like what a freaking terrible nightmare life to live. I would never want to be them.
Yeah.
Would never want to be them.
Yeah. That's some shit we call implosion. That's worse than an explosion. That's an implosion. That shit fucks like, oh man, you can't hide with explosion.
Well, yeah, and these people are constantly, I mean, they're probably hiding from themselves. You know how like vampires, they look in the mirror and they have no reflection? That's probably how they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know the queen be transformed into her dragon form, flying around, kidnapping niggas on the low. And since they fucking with our brain, we can't remember.
Dead. She might even be dead already and be a hologram, bro. Like, I don't even know.
Oh yeah, could be a hologram because I saw the Pope disappear. The Pope was a hologram. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like just thinking like even like the hologram theory of reality. Like, what if we're all holograms?
Oh man. Yo, you know what? Technically, we kind of are hologram avatars if someone dreams about us.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's always interesting. That's always so interesting. But I mean, to go into psychological like warfare, right? And that's how we can go and like bring it into Ukraine. Like, I mean, the Ukrainian president is a freaking actor. The guy created
a fucking actor.
Yeah, he created a whole production, you know, company. I forget what it's called, but his whole production company is who is running that country. is a production company.
Yep.
And it's
Corporation.
yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, so, I mean, and then like, you go back to like Snake Island, all of that ended up being a total like, sham. And the guy, Zelensky, he gets up on stage and he's like, "Oh, my people and blah blah blah, and they died in combat and blah," and it ended up all being a fake story. Like, how can you trust anything that man says after the whole like Snake Island incident?
Right. Right. Look, you a clown. Shout out to that live chat. Shout out to
Yeah,
the live chat.
that live chat is fire. Like the stuff that you guys. I don't know if this was actually skinny. I'd probably think she was attractive.
Shout out to my homeboy Paco, man. Oh shoot, man. Like I grew up with that nigga. That nigga from the hood, from the Brewster Projects. That nigga was there when I started rapping. That nigga was there when I first started. Yeah. But
you gotta come up with one for me.
But back to the article. It says scientists remain divided on what's causing brain changes in people infected with the Coof.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it then? So, like, you're doing
exactly
surrounding this Coof, the Coof, but you can't figure out if it is the Coof, and you can't prove what the Coof is.
Yeah, and that right there causes confusion. That causes confusion. So
yeah, delirium, right? So that's gonna like cause people to be unsure of what's going on. It's gonna cause cognitive dissonance as well, and all these psychological issues, confusion, delirium, all of these things, which will eventually lead people to have psychotic episodes and psychotic breakdowns, which affects the amount of gray matter in the brain. So like, I mean, it's a myriad amalgamation of things.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. It's saying it may be the symptoms of the Coof, such as losing sense of smell, cause the brain to react by turning off or shrinking of the olfactory related brain regions. You don't use it, you lose it, as Duard put it. So basically, nigga, just keep using your brain, or you.
Right. And how you gain gray matter in the brain, let me see, like exercise, that helps you gain gray matter rather than lose it. Reading books, challenging yourself, like through puzzles, chess, complex games. Coconut oil, pulling will help as well. Omega-3s, fish oil, got to get your vitamins in. Those are all things that can help you, help your brain grow and develop, and you can sustain and maintain the gray matter in your brain. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So you guys better get your exercise, go on a freaking walk, get some vitamin D, right?
Read a motherfucking book. Yeah, that's right.
And read a motherfucking book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge your mind, like do some weird handshakes with a friend, like whatever. Like get your mind, like question things. Like that's a good one too. Like always question, asking a question gets your those circuits running,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now I say some researchers believe instead that the changes are a result in brain inflammation or the Coof invading the brain in some regard. Another alternative explanation could be some combinations of these factors. Duard, like the Blouchadani person, has hope that neuroplasticity, I can't believe I said that right. It sounds right.
You did say that right. Neuroplasticity. Yeah, you said that correct. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I gotta take a shot of some orange juice for that. All right. Okay. The ability of the brain to grow, rearrange, and to heal itself over time. That's what's up. May play a role in reversing at least some of the damage done to the brain due to the viral infection. Say, we need to bear in mind again that the level of scrutiny that we are dedicated to this unprecedented, and it could be, well, be that influenza would create some effects that could be maybe similar, said the Duarte character, who is continuing to scan new patients to monitor the difference. And what else? Oh shit, what the hell is it? Okay, cool, load up. All right. Yep, it's a Dr. Danny agrees that this may not be unprecedented. There are similar subtle effects sometimes seen in depression and other psychiatric illnesses that are often not diagnosed or assessed with neuroimaging, she said. Recovery is possible, but so much is still unknown. All right. So basically, like two scientists from different walks of life is coming together to fuck with niggas' brains. What y'all think about this shit?
Well,
Hurricane
Hurricane
Shaw
showing off his rings. Man, by episode 12, you will be like a scholar.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, for sure, for sure.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be a wrap.
Yeah, that's so good.
I'm learning new words to put in my rhymes. I got some new words to put in my rhymes. It's gonna be hard to say neuroplasticity in a rap. I gotta find a way to do that.
That would be sick. And then we gotta put it on Analyst Live.
Yup.
He's live right now, actually. So we're missing out on that, but this is more fun.
Hell yeah. But we at work, we taking down the powers that be.
Yeah. We saying some things. That'll probably get this video taken off YouTube. Who knows? But hopefully we can just clip it up, before that happens.
We good. We good. I think we safe. I think I've adapted well. Thanks to Low Key T getting me to say allegedly.
Oh, yeah. The alleged part is so important, even though it's like, man, we know it's not really that way. But yeah. And yeah, it's just crazy because, in a nutshell, that article is saying we're studying the Coof and these people that had the Coof, and then there's obviously their brains are shrinking, there's gray matter missing, but we don't know if it's from the Coof. What? So what was the point of that? What's the point of these studies? You're just pretty much lab ratting people.
Yep, exactly.
And they're not getting any results from it.
Right, because my theory is y'all just fucking with our brains, extracting melanin, and fucking with our chakra system because that's where our third eye and the crown chakra is. So they're trying to take our memories. So we don't remember what the fuck happened. We might not even remember this shit 10, 15 years from now. Well, maybe some people might, but we'll have to remind them.
And in the long run, that affects the DNA, the DNA structures in our, so and that's where all of our bloodline, curses lie and all of these things. So getting rid of our memory and extracting from it, it's kind of I also believe that they're trying to get a hold of, the Akashic records.
Oh, wow, you thought that deep?
Yeah,
shit. I thought I was the only one that knew about this shit.
No, man. I think that they're trying to, extract.
They're not gonna touch my library. They ain't gonna touch my library. Ain't no mercy in this dojo. I'm gonna kill those bugs. Come in my brain if you want to. Pause.
Yeah. I really do. I think that they're, trying to damage the collective, psyche and the collective unconscious in such a way that the little man, us individuals that aren't a part of the big dynamic like CERN and all of these things and these rich elites and oligarchs, they're just extracting those memories from us because I think that they can do that. If they can, God drop the freaking adrenochrome again, but if they can extract adrenochrome from infants through abuse, then they can definitely extract memory from our DNA and the dream realm as well. I call it the sleeper grid. But yeah, it's definitely leading to that point where they're going to try to, unlock and get the Akashic records of the collective and keep it from us obtaining our own birthright. And that's just really, really sinister. And I'm not sure what they want to do with that. It's with CERN. It's with CERN, they want to
I'm about to tell you what they want to do with it. They put this shit in a game called Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, that's a good game. That's a good game.
They go into your memories, find your past, you play as your ancestor, and like they're looking for some type of magical artifact called the apple of something, called the apple of Eden and shit. And like you can see like the lives of everybody. You got powers and shit. Basically, like they're looking for like some type of powerful artifact to use to control the world. So,
Right.
so if they trying to go through our Akashic records to find something, maybe they're trying to find that like we are gods, and like they're trying to
Well,
take
and
away our god
we
power or some
also,
shit. You
yeah,
know, like it's a lot. It's a lot to think
it's a
about.
lot. Yeah, it's also like they're trying to gain their own retribution and cleanse themselves of responsibility and karma, their karma, and they're trying to place um their karmic like debt and their garbage onto everybody else so they don't have to take responsibility for it. And that's just so like what the hell, like how narcissistic and psychotic, like psychopathic is that, like is it so hard to just admit that you're like sick or that you're like wrong or that like I don't know that maybe you could have went a different direction, because we all have a choice, right? And like every time that
Yeah,
we like, same with the jibby jab situation, people were like felt like they didn't have a choice in that situation, which they most definitely did. But like, it's just like, are you willing to deal with the consequences? I don't know if the consequences, we'll find out later on, for those people that did take it, will outweigh the benefits. I don't think it will, obviously. That's just my opinion. But is death and not being able to fulfill your life purpose and what you need to do on this planet worth keeping your fucking mundane job to perpetuate this like shit economy and this fake currency that isn't backed by anything besides debt and our own bodies?
right.
Like it's a plantation, and
Yep.
like that's what you're gonna keep perpetuating, is this plantation and your own slavery? I don't
That
know,
is
I don't think
deep.
that's worth it.
That's deep. It's time to break out this matrix, break out the prison
Yeah,
planet.
like and that's the thing too, is just even thinking and believing that there is a matrix and that there's a box that you're already in, you're kind of stuck there. But then again, like it's like once you're aware of the game, then you're in the game. So it's
Right.
kind of like, damn, like I kind of screwed myself a long time ago looking into this thing in the first place. So, but yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And it just it weighs a lot on my heart just because like there's so many people that I care about, and like there's just so many unknowns, and I hate it. Like, I mean, obviously I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that to tell the future, but it's kind of like we can kind of tell where all of this is headed.
Yeah.
And like we do
Aaron
know
Russo
how
said
the
it.
story kind of ends. We know how this kind of ends, right?
Yeah,
So
everybody gonna be chipped, just like Aaron Russo said before they killed them, allegedly. Aaron
allegedly,
Russo said everybody gonna be chipped.
right,
Chipped.
right.
Like, no, I don't, man. It's gonna be crazy, dog. It's like low key gonna be right, because I'm gonna fuck around and get the cybernetic shit just to take down the government.
Right, yeah, and I mean, like, if there's a book on it, like Psycho-Cybernetics, and that's really interesting, but yeah, it's, like, all part of the transhumanism Globy agenda, which in Globy, it's obey, so you obey their paradigm and their way of thinking and state of being, and that's just, like, not where I wanna operate or even where I do operate from. So,
I'm gonna
yeah,
be walking around looking like Cyborg. That's gonna be fucked up. And I already look like that nigga a little
well,
bit.
and that's the thing too. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I just hoping, like I was kind of just like I envision, everybody's gonna be hooked up to an Oculus inside their houses, watching porn, that freaking, meta
Only
porn or
time I can get
something.
Sade.
And then I
Only
can
time
go
I
out
get
in the
Sade.
real world while everybody's like locked inside and hooked up to their Oculus, and I can go do wild shit in the real world. But I don't think that's how it's gonna be either, because they're not gonna allow us to be outside without these like things connecting us to the IoT.
Yeah. They want to find a way to control us, like so we just don't do nothing. I'm talking
Well,
about
yeah, and
chill
that's part of
vegetables.
yeah, like even with the electric car thing, like, oh, it's actually not more better for the environment. I mean, if you've ever seen lithium mines, that shit is just terrifying. I mean, lithium's an antidepressant. It's in your freaking phone battery. It's all these things. Like, how the hell can you? I just don't get it. Like, they're spraying it in the atmosphere for radar systems and shit. Like, it's in everything. It's in our water. Like, it's not good whatsoever. They're trying to sell us that idea, but it's like also the electric car thing. They want to be able to turn that shit off. Right?
Yep.
You've been driving, you're not even driving it. It's driving itself, taking you to work or something. But then that's like what's going on in Canada, right? They're monitoring everybody's like bank accounts, and that's also why Biden did the whole 600 thing with the IRS, so that they can have like a backdoor into our finances and our transactions, so that like if we donate to the wrong charity or something, then they can just cut that shit right off.
Yep.
And label you as
I gotta take out the IRS first. I do that for the people. That's for y'all.
Well, that's the thing though, too, is like the IRS is a locked up system. Like you can't get in there with any kind of weapons, nothing. They got cameras on every single like door, hallway. It's crazy. I've been through the IRS buildings in like Denver. That shit, honestly, it's scary. And like you can't even like see the person's face. Like when you go and talk to the IRS people, you can't even see what that person looks like. Because how many people probably going up in there and try to do something.
I know how to get in there. I know how to get in there. I watched the show Leverage. I know how to get in there.
But yeah, it's crazy.
I'm gonna be a janitor.
How much security?
I'm gonna be a janitor because I'm black. I'm gonna be a janitor.
I want to meet somebody who works for the IRS and ask them why they do I don't know, man. Like, I mean, all the bankers that have killed themselves. I mean, how many people from the IRS did? Well, we'll never know because you never even know what they look like or what their name really is. But whatever.
Yeah, they probably saw something or did something they had no business doing. They have regret. Like, fuck this shit. I'm out. Kill myself.
That's crazy. I mean, if you live a crooked life, I don't know how you could really deal with yourself. Especially if you have any.
That's the only way. That's the only way. They take themselves out. They're like, man, well, it's like, like we know the elites do it because of that, and right. The celebrities. Sure, but like, like normal people, like, like it's like different things. Cause like we actually go through real life shit. Like they live a script. But that's the end of the article. There's nothing else left.
Yeah. But we can go into this like article. It's super long, so I mean I can kind of just like skim through it. I also want to bring up a guy that is blacklisted by the US, but he works with Ukrainian government and is under Zelensky. His name is Igor Kolominsky. Wow. That guy is blacklisted by the US in April 2021. So that's not even that long ago. His wife and his children were banned from entering the US, which accused him of corruptly using his time as governor to personally enrich himself. And that's pretty much like the biggest thing with Zelensky and all of the people underneath him is that they're just greedy pieces of shit. Okay. And like, this guy's under criminal investigation. This guy, he's like the second richest person in Ukraine. And apparently this dude owns Cleveland.
Wait, talk about here? He owns this Cleveland?
Yeah. The Ukrainian government owns Cleveland.
Okay. He owns some Commonwealth shit. He think he the queen? You think what?
I mean, the queen owns a lot of land in the U.S. as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she got maybe like 5 or 6 states under the Commonwealth. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they let's see. Yeah, alleged financial crimes involving numerous businessmen. They have this has to do with like steel holdings in West Virginia and Northern Ohio, parts of Florida, Ghana, and Australia. So it's like, what the fuck?
So if anything happens, those are the places where the Ukrainians are going to be on the refuge and shit. They're going to have programs for them.
Yep.
That's what
that's what I'm in West Virginia right now, and like West Virginia was one of the only states that didn't take in any Iranian refugees or whatever. And like Oregon was one of the prominent ones that did take in them, but like West Virginia didn't take in any, which I was like, well, I wonder why that is, but it's probably because they're going to be taking in a lot of Ukrainians here soon.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just incredible. It's really like there's so many interesting things that go into this whole Ukrainian thing. And what also I found was interesting is like let's see.
Yeah, just pick the best parts. Just skim through it, pick the best parts
This
that you
is
think
so
is important.
long. There's so much in this. Okay, I'll go
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I was
Here,
like, I
yeah,
can't
there's so
read
much
all
in
this
this.
shit.
All
That
right.
was a
So
long ass article.
from this article from Ordo Abcow. I forget the guy's name that does this website, but also Thoughts on Thinking on YouTube, which is Spencer. He is doing some series on this work as well. I'm looking forward to his video that he will be doing on this article, which will be really cool. But I'll start here. Most controversial was the America's alignment with Ukrainian far-right and neo-Nazi extremists who have a long-standing history of collaboration with the CIA. As is well known, the CIA thought highly of various former Nazis who they believed could be employed during the Cold War to fight their shared enemy, communism. To that end, thousands of Nazi scientists were brought over in Operation Paperclip, as we know. The CIA hired Reinhard Gehlen, who was chief of the military intelligence service for the Nazis on the Eastern Front during World War II, after which he was sponsored by the CIA to establish the anti-communist Gehlen organization before becoming founding president of the BND, West Germany's Federal Intelligence Service. The CIA helped free Hitler's favorite commando, Otto Skorzeny, who worked closely with Gehlen, and whose activities during the Cold War ranged from Franco's Spain to South America, including a stint working for Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service. Skorzeny was a key figure in the network known as the Fascist International, composed of various right-wing extremists who serviced the CIA's covert activities around the world, including Condor in South America, the Golden Triangle heroin trade in Southeast Asia, and Operation Gladio in Italy.
God damn. Damn. These niggas got their headache. Damn.
Yeah, and isn't it funny because they're like Nazis, fascist Nazis, but they're also working with Israel.
Right, Israel that came out in 1945.
They play both sides of the fence, and it's just really interesting. And as I carry on, an important organization linking the CIA covert network of drugs and arms dealing and the Fascist International was the World Anti-Communist League, WACL, whose activities would evolve into the Iran-Contra operation. The WACL
I remember Contra. Oh, damn, these niggas wilding.
Yeah, they're all over the place. This also has to do with the Safari Club, which I could go into later. And the Devil's Chessboard. And that had to do with CIA, and also Young has something to do with that as well, which is kind of creepy. But the WACL had very close ties with the American Security Council, which, along with its parent organization, the American First Committee, AFC, are considered the origin of the American Old Right. Founded in 1940 to lobby to keep the United States out of World War II, the AFC represented a confluence of right-wing organizations, including the Silver Shirts, the German America Bund, the Ku Klux Klan, and was funded by the Nazis.
The Yahtzee!
And the ASC, which has been referred to as the heart of the military-industrial complex, exploited the same fear of communism to help justify the enormous military buildup to protect America's quote-unquote freedom, while simultaneously feeding directly into profits.
Wow, this shit is deep. This shit is fucking deep. Wag the fucking dog.
And I think I'll find it here in a second. This goes in from World War I, II up until now. Let's see if I can find where all this stuff is, stuff that's pertinent to now. But as I'm what this is pretty much saying is it's all kind of this convoluted, weird mesh of, they're anti-communist, but also communist fascist. It's a weird, they're just playing both sides. And they're sitting on the fence, acting as if they're on one side, but they're not. It's just so weird. Right. It's just so weird. But also, what I was reading, there's the Alan Duels. If you guys ever get the chance, look into Alan Duels. There's a great book called The Devil's Chessboard. Very fascinating work. But let's see. There's just so much in this. But yeah, definitely check out the ordoabcow.ca website where you can check out this article in full. But let's see. There's also has tons of ties with the Republican Heritage Group, Ronald Reagan,
Fucking Reagan bought crack into the community. Damn. Damn. Fuck you, Reagan.
Yeah. So they're all in like that's what it's like the heroin trade in South America and South Asia. Like that's pretty crazy. So they're distributing all these drugs into our communities and like just lining their pockets and really damaging people and their families.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Bush daddy was CIA before he became president. So yeah, he got a lot of hand in this shit too. Fuck Bush. Fuck the government. Fuck the government. Oh man.
Oh man, yeah, Daddy.
This is a fuck the government podcast. I gotta do a review on this shit. This is a fuck the government podcast right there.
Oh yeah,
shit.
and then like it also has this goes into like the Skull and Bones and Knights of
Skull and Bones. Oh, Nick, I did a Matrix versus reality on that. Oh
right,
man.
right.
Yeah.
So the National Review was founded by William F. Buckley, a member of Skull and Bones in the Knights of Malta, who worked for the CIA. In 1960, Buckley and AGLAC member Marvin Libman helped form the YAF, an ideologically conservative youth activism organization that was founded in 1960 as a coalition between traditional conservatives and libertarians. So like that's the thing too is everybody thinks that we're like this new world order is going to be liberal. It's actually going to be alt-right. And like the devil's triangle I say is like okay, so it's like the Catholic Church and the Baptists, US Baptists is like at the top, and then at the like left side would be like the alt-right as a political ideology, and then on the right side it would be the US military.
Damn. That's the devil's triangle.
Yeah, that's the devil's triangle, man. And everybody's like, oh no, it's gonna be, the liberals and blah blah blah, and like this postmodern, the gays and like all this stuff. It's actually not. And like they're trying to get rid of, like, oh, we're not racist, we're not these things. Actually, they're super racist. It's like a hypercharged, it's a hyper real. All of it's just so hyper real, and we're just kind of like these little like pawns unknowingly going around and like helping propagate their ideas.
Yup, that shit. Oh man. Yup.
Oh,
because the problem reacts to solution shit.
So Roy Cohn also became a principal figure in its intelligence gathering operation, the Western Goals Foundation. Like the Safari Club created with the Saudis, Western Goals was set up to sidestep restrictions imposed after Watergate and COINTELPRO revelations. As a consequence, intelligence files passed into the hands of retired officers and their most trusted operatives. Many of those officers, like John Reese and Congressman Larry McDonald, were members of the WACL, the John Birch Society, and similar organizations, and joined Singlob in forming the Western Goals Foundation in 1979. Western Goals acquired a reputation of acting as a clearinghouse for some police departments whose intelligence collecting functions were restricted by laws such as the Freedom of Information Act.
Wow. Damn, and that was like 01, the Freedom of Information Act. Was that 01?
I believe that was,
yeah. Yeah, that was during
they just like revamped and redid all of that shit too recently. And that's all just really scary. I mean, it's like with everything going on with the whole, the gang stalking phenomenon. I mean, that's just COINTELPRO 2.0.
Yeah.
I think it's like they've definitely learned from the Stasi. Like I was always like, do you see the Stasi? But they definitely learned from when COINTELPRO did get exposed for what it was, and they realized the many flaws and the mistakes that they made. So if you really look at the stuff that's going on now, especially with the advancement of technology, holy shit! Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like people who don't believe in like, community surveillance or, citizens on patrol and what they're doing or the potential of what they're doing and have the technology they have hands on, then you're just kind of like living blindly with wool over your eyes, not really ready to see things for what they are.
Oh, damn. Man, that's some deep shit. That shit led to COINTELPRO. Them niggas got their hand in everything. Everything.
Yeah, they have it's literally, it's just so insidious. And it's literally in everything. So like even like let's go back to Reagan. Reagan regarded his Strategic Defense Initiative, the SDI, also popularly known as the Star Wars program, a key
Star
project
Wars.
of ASC as a cornerstone of his peace through strength strategy.
Yeah. And plus, Reagan was the one that said if there was an alien threat, we might have to unite. I'm still thinking about that. That's why I'm waiting on Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, Project Bluebeam. Like, I know that's the thing is I'm an avid sky watcher, and especially after my brother passing and everything, and my cousin as well, and just the people that I've lost in my life. It just really makes me look at the sky more, because it's like, oh, that's supposed to be the heavens, the stars above, and plus they're actually really beautiful, and plus I totally am into the whole cryptid thing and this whole idea of you unidentified flying objects, but I know exactly what they are. I don't necessarily believe in aliens as aliens per se. I have many theories about what they are. They could be us from the future coming back to study their past, because they, if this continues and they successfully rid us of our memory and ability to access our Akashic records and all these things, then the aliens in the future, which are us in the future, are going to probably want to come back to find out what the fuck happened, right? And then interdimensional beings, I also think are associated with demons and demonology. But that's a totally different kind of subject. So it's kind of they're separate but not the same.
Oh, I have another theory. Some of them, and I saw some footage. I don't know if there's still some left, but I saw some UFOs piloted by military personnel, and they flying around, hovering and crashing and shit. and these so-called alien abductions are really, these niggas think they going in space, but they really underground, guarded by Fed agents.
Right. And that's what I was telling too, is a lot of people are looking to the skies when actually, in fact, a lot of the things that will be coming to us will actually be coming from the ground, from underground. And it's kind of like with the Shasta Mountains in California. There's actually really tall beings that apparently live there, people that live within those mountains. And that's also why a lot of people go missing in the Shasta area. It's just very interesting to think about, because they live underground within the mountains there.
Goddamn, on the hills have eyes side of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I say that about my hometown just because people there are whack, but yeah. So it's just really interesting that a lot of people are looking in the wrong direction, possibly, for what's truly happening. And that's also goes into the Epstein shit, because I mean, a lot of the US, Colorado especially, and all these things have underground, tunnels that lead, apparently Disneyland, all the Disney parks and stuff, and things are all connected via tunnels, underground tunnels.
Oh yeah, we need to go check that Disneyland shit. I heard there's secret doors with a number on it.
Oh yeah, and they're saying, they also say that some of the props in where Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff, some of those skeletons and skulls are supposedly real. I believe it. I mean, a lot of
hell yeah, because they had real skeletons in classrooms back in the day, because they didn't.
Right. And then that's the thing too. This is why I no longer put myself as an organ donor on my driver's license, because one, there was an old man who had put himself as an organ donor, and then they dissected his dead body in a freaking classroom in Oregon.
Oh,
in a
damn.
museum. And his family was like, what the hell? And he was his naked body, and they were dissecting him in a museum.
Damn, couldn't even sue him. Could they sue him?
I think that that laws are going to start changing around that because of that situation. I haven't looked into it since then. It was kind of a new thing that happened a couple months ago. And that's kind of a new thing, because I mean, most of the time, you're an organ donor, nobody really knows what happens to those people, right? I mean, but this guy happened to end up on a freaking slab in a freaking museum in Oregon, and somebody recognized this man and told his family found out. It's that usually doesn't happen. So these people just got caught, right?
These reptilian bastards. Man, that's a reptilian shit.
Like, what the hell? I would not want to, like, I would like to think that, like, if I was an organ donor, that might, like, stuff would, like, they're just, oh, it goes to science. Well, what does that mean? That's kind of a blanket statement, right? Like,
yeah, yeah. Oh, and we cryogenically frozen and wake up 500 years later as cyborg from like what the fuck going on? I'm gonna kill
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
that loves.
Yeah, and shout out by the chat. I see Brittany there. I feel so cool hanging out with y'all. I feel cool hanging out with you too. I'm glad you're here.
Yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. I appreciate you guys coming to the Kloak and Dagger podcast. I really appreciate it. But yeah, like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, all the stuff that just goes into this, you know, it's just like we are being had. Unless, like, we're letting ourselves, right? But I mean, the majority of the population isn't exactly on the same level as we are, or it doesn't even want to entertain these kind of topics. I mean, at least you got to entertain it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that shit.
Let's see if I can find something that's a little bit more recent. Let's see here. Because this is a long article. It's super, super good. Guys, I know his last name Livingston. He's very good researcher. I'm very impressed with his work. I mean, there may be some biases there, but I don't think anybody on this earth is without their bias. So we always just have to check our own premises, right?
Right.
And just, you know, take our own inventory. And nobody is like a beacon or bearer of the whole entire truth. So we always just have to be mindful that we're just on the search of it.
Let's go. Thanks. Just grab whatever you think is important.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some more recent stuff that might be like really there was, okay, let's see. I know that there was something that happened in the UN recently. I'm trying to find that because, like, apparently, like, the UN comes together and they kind of like do these. The UN is kind of useless. Like, I mean, they're useless. In March, like, oh, like this country did like crimes against humanity, but what the hell do they even do? Like, you just like label them with that, and then that's it. Is that it? Like, oh, I got this stamp that I'm doing crimes against humanity, but like they're not going to do nothing about it. You know what I mean?
It's like the United Nations. It's like the United Nations are all together, but they're still poor people countries. I'm like they're supposed to come together, put your wealth together, so everybody could be wealthy and healthy.
I think the CIA is onto us because you keep on going. At least on my end, I don't know if you can catch that, but it's crazy. Like, at least on my end, that's what happened last time. So I gotta apologize to Sean. For our last episode, that was kind of a fucking dumpster fire on my end. But like on my end, like it starts like the audio when like Hurykane starts talking, it starts going and like just vibrating voice. And I'm like, why is this happening? And last time it happened, it wouldn't stop. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this screwing up the audio on your guys' end? I don't know if it's just on my side. But yeah. So then I like left and I couldn't get back in. And and then
that's crazy.
Yeah, he was on.
I don't be hearing it. I don't be hearing it. You know, like when I go back to the playback, you know, like I hear it a little bit, and then I'm like, holy shit. Like, you know, I didn't hear it like, during the shit. I'm like, what's going on here?
Right, yeah. So I mean, like maybe once you play it back or whatever, you can kind of check that out. But yeah, on my end, it kind of went nuts last time. And I was like, man, like I feel like such an asshole. Like, that's so rude. Like, but
you good. I understand, you know, because everybody, you know, like it's like this cloud, this motherfucking Wi-Fi, all this shit is all calibrated to just be jumbled up. So like everything is
I don't even know how that works. It's so weird. I don't know how. I wish I want to get into you know, data. I used to do like data analysis and stuff, but in a different way. And I wanted to get into like data analytics and cybersecurity, which I'm looking into some certificates for that here in the near future. But yeah, I'm just super interested in how all that works. But I found something like, we'll start here. It's in the last several years, Russia has demonstrated a return to an assertive foreign policy through successful military interventions in Ukraine and Syria. And we know that there's been quite the boots on the ground of Russia in Syria. In the Kremlin, Alexander Dugin represents the War Party, a division within the leadership over Ukraine, known as Putin's Rasputin, is an occultist influenced by Aleister Crowley and the tradition
Wow.
of Nazism and synarchism, and aims to create an empire of the end times. He can see,
Empire of the End Times.
yeah.
They really want to make this nigga the bad guy so bad.
This is Alexander Dugin. Apparently, he's Putin's Rasputin, and he's a cultist influenced by Aleister Crowley, who is a part of the Kremlin. So he considered the war between Russia and Ukraine to be inevitable and appealed for Putin to start military intervention in the eastern part of the country. Ukraine, as an independent state with certain territorial ambitions, he warns in the foundations of geopolitics, represents an enormous danger for all of Eurasia. Without resolving the Ukrainian problem, it is in general senseless to speak about continental politics. And that's like another thing too with like geopolitics and the globe. A globe knows no nation. So it's just really funny how they play that narrative. Yeah. It was due to Vladislav Surkov that several of Dugin's political projects got off the ground. During Putin's first 2 terms as president, Surkov was regarded as the Kremlin's gray cardinal. That just reminds me of the Gray Pope. And like I thought the world was gonna some shit was gonna hit the fan when the Gray Pope, like the Black Pope, because nobody knows who the Gray Pope is, I don't think, but I have to double check. But the Gray Pope oversees the finances of the Catholic Church. But it just made me think the Black Pope actually like resigned from his position in like 2017, and I was like, man, some shit's gonna happen, but nothing happened. But yeah, so this guy's like the Gray Cardinal, and he's having directed its propaganda principally through control of state-run television. So yeah, that's a big deal too, because I mean, in Putin's Russia wants everyone in America to like ultimately everything that we believe about them and the U.S. to be a lie, and I think they're doing a pretty good job. But Peter Pomerantsev, I don't know how to say that, just Peter P. I'm gonna call him Peter P. Peter P.
Peter Parker.
Peter P. Peter P.
Peter Parker.
Is a vocal critic of Surkov and his influence on Putin, accuses Surkov of turning Russia into a managed democracy. And along with another critic, Pavel K. Pavel K. That kind of sounds like some weird drug. Termed Russia a postmodern dictatorship. Let's see. So there's a Hypernormalization is a BBC documentary which claimed that the unique blend of politics and reality devised by Surkov, whose previous career was a director in avant-garde theater, has begun to affect countries outside of Russia, most notably the election of Donald Trump.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, man, yeah, it's like when they say that like Russia has influence over our elections, they certainly do, but not in the ways that they say they do, right? So Surkov has sponsored all kinds of groups from neo-Nazi skinheads to liberal human rights groups, again playing both sides, and even backed parties that were opposed to President Putin. So that's really interesting. But Surkov would let it be known that this was what he was doing. At the same time, Surkov writes lyrics for a rock group called Agartha Christie and essays on conceptual art. Oh, so he's an art critic. Ooh, wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. In contemporary Russia, unlike the old USSR or present-day North Korea, the stage is constantly changing. The country is a dictatorship in the morning, a democracy at lunch, and an oligarchy by supper time. While backstage, oil companies are expropriated, journalists killed, billions siphoned away. Surkov is at the center of the show, sponsoring nationalist skinheads one moment, backing human rights groups next. It's a strategy of power based on keeping any opposition there may be constantly confused, a ceaseless shape-shifting that is unstoppable because it's indefinable. And that's really smart, because I mean, if you keep people confused and you leave things kind of open-ended and undefined, like how can you really determine what is going on,
Yep, exactly.
It's just
Yep.
it's a shit
I
show.
can't wait to topple these governments. I can't wait. Allegedly, these people got to get taken down.
Yeah, I probably would. I'm probably going way too in it. Way too.
Yep,
Uh,
yep. I hope there's a revolution brewing under their noses. You know, like somebody got to be over there. Like, man, I got to stop all this shit. Like,
yeah,
I can't be the only guy in the world thinking about a revolution. I can't be. I can't be. Somebody got to be thinking about this. Like, man, this shit must end now.
yeah, and it's just, but that's like the thing that's so, it's just so sad because like people, like luckily for the age of, this age of information that has, been gifted upon our generation, our generations that are currently here, um, we're finally getting like this kind of avenue to obtain this knowledge and this information. And
Yep.
so many people, especially like before the, a lot of baby boomers, that's why you see a lot of baby boomers, on the Trumpy end of the game. Um, it's unfortunate because like so many people are already so like hardwired and kind of brainwashed to fall into these Hegelian dialectic games and schemes. And there's just too much cognitive dissonance that gets bestowed upon them that it just causes too much inner tension to where they dismiss a lot of the information.
Yep.
So it's really up to, millennials and, some Gen Xers, which would probably be your generation that you're in, Hurykane. But I'm like on the tail end of millennial, but it just depends on like who you ask when the generation ends, right?
Right. Yeah, because like I'm still confused. I was born in 1988,
Right,
so like
right.
I don't know if I'm X or Y.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because like the US government says that millennials ended in like 1994, like 1994. And I kind of like think that's kind of legit because 1994 was when I think Google came around, or like the main like internet really kind of started booming was in 1994. And like Gen Z kids are kind of like separated because of the internet and all that stuff. But it really just depends on who you ask. But it doesn't really matter. Those generational divides are kind of, it's not really that important where they begin or where they end. It's just kind of what you identify with as an individual. But yeah, like it's kind of like up to, the tail end of like Xers and Z kids, which also the US government Obama deemed them the homeland generation, which gives me the creeps. I'm like, okay. And it's also the last, letter of the alphabet. So are they thinking that there won't be any more after them? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like because like that's what Pepsi means. That symbolism of Pepsi. They say it means like the new generation is dead. If you put the Pepsi can,
oh yeah,
upside down, they're gonna say,
and they want it to be the end of times, right? So like, what the hell does that mean?
Man, shit crazy. It's like what they know that we don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like because it looked like they causing an end or like at least pushing it forward or something.
Right.
Shit. I don't know what they doing. But what I do know is I'm pissed and I'm doing something about it, allegedly.
Right.
I mean, we doing something about it.
Yeah,
Right now.
we're at least we're doing more than most people are. We're questioning the narrative, and we're trying to network with people who are, different from us in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, obviously, like you're older than me, you come from a different background, you're a black male. And I'm like this white tattooed chick that likes metal and whatever, but it's not like that.
I love metal too. I love metal too.
Yeah, thank God. You sent me some tunes and I hella appreciate it because like we on the same vibe with that for sure. But like people would like look at me and look at you and be like, what, judge a book by its cover, but you can't do that. But that, I mean, we're trying to do more than a lot of other people are. We don't really like fight on here. We do have like, our discourse and our disagreements, but it's not like we're like, at each other's throats. And I mean, at least on low key side of the game, like he does have people that are just popping off, dropping off like flies because of whatever personal reasons they may have, or whatever they may, personal feelings that they may like have toward him and what he does. But low-key, like for real, is like one of the realest people that I've ever met on the internet, so
Right.
I really appreciate
everything. He put us together. He brought this shit together. Like, look, I had no name for my podcast. Then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with low key said. They gonna fuck the government podcast. He was like, yo, you should do a fuck the government podcast. The shit kept ringing in my head. Like, you know what? Let's do it.
And then like you had mentioned, you're like, man, I just want somebody that could just do that with me. I was like, I'll do it with you. Why not? Like, so I think that's really cool. Beware of PI Day, Pi Day. Is it PI Day or Pi Day? No, I don't know. Skull and Bones 314 and 322. Yeah. That's a good point. That's coming close.
Yeah, I did a Matrix versus reality on that movie. Man, part 2 and 3 was garbage. I mean, like 3 was garbage, man. But like part 1 was the best. Part 2 had a better story, but it was cheesy. But like part 1 was the shit. And that's when I first seen Paul Walker and shit. I think that was
Paul Walker. Paul Walker was so cool. Plus, he's like a moon in Pisces like me, so like it's just kind of like cool when there are those that's what's scary though. Like moon and Pisces people in celebrity circles all end up fucking, killed. And I'm like, why is that? Like Prince, Michael Jackson.
It's fucked up because like we didn't even know he had a twin brother. I'm like, whoa, this guy got a twin? I'm like, nigga, that's a goddamn clone. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And that's like a big thing too, is like, I mean, look at all the celebrities that do look alike. It's so creepy. And like I totally believe in that clone shit for real. Like, and I mean they tell you all the time. Like Jack Black, freaking what's his name? Gosh, I'm forgetting his names. But yeah, there's so many of them. It's like Kodak Black and shit, like
Gucci Mane,
them jokes and stuff like, they're trying to make it like a joke, but it's not a joke.
Eminem a clone, and it happened after that car accident.
Yeah,
Eminem had a car accident in like 2009, and then he motherfucker just changed and he popped up on Drake's song with that Forever song. I'm like, nigga, that's not him. That's not him.
And that's what's crazy, the car crash thing, because like, I mean, me going through those car crashes, and it's just like the fundamental changes that happen internally that have happened with me. But like that's another topic for another day. But it's just crazy because like there is like, it's like those weird like circumstances that these people like.
Yeah, like Paul Walker, like the person that was driving was an expert driver. How can the expert driver crash? And like it's crazy because you got like, hours of driving.
It's like purposeful, and like it's just really sad too, because like Pisces moon people are in touch with the subconscious and the collective unconscious in a way that nobody else is. So it's kind of just really sad that they, and obviously like notable that they would use people like that for sacrifices.
Right, man, that's messed up.
And that's what like made me think about like my own dreams, because like in my dreams, like I told you before, like you're like, oh man, well, what if like the dream realm is more real than here? Like, what if that's reality? I'm like, I hope not. Because like, I mean, I had a dream, man. I probably could start a podcast just talking about my dreams, but like that's not smart to really like tell people your dreams, unless you kind of have control over them, and like what, it just depends on who you're telling.
Yeah. Basically, it all depends on who you tell. Like somebody that have a spiritual connection with you.
Yeah.
But like, and like, I start to dream talk. So like, I gotta have my dream journal ready, but like nigga, like that's gonna be hard to make.
I mean, I've been dream journaling since 2013. I think 2012, 2013 is when I first started dream journaling. So I mean, I have quite a bit of dreams written in my journals, and I've gotten pretty good at it, but I still can't control the dream realm, right? But it's just like they're using like the certain zodiac signs in their natal charts in the certain placements, like Pisces moon people. It's like Michael Jackson, I think Prince, Paul Walker. And like that's the thing too, is Michael Jackson and Paul Walker were Virgos with moon and Pisces, and you know what happened to them. So But like in my dreams, like I'm like you propped up as a sacrifice in my dreams and shit. It's scary and like
I'm gonna
and
tell you a secret, and like this is a secret that I've used since the fucking '90s, and it's all because of one movie.
okay.
And it's the movie. You would not suspect what movie I'm about to say right now. It's Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors.
Oh, I believe it. No, that's the. I need to go back and watch those now since you just brought them
Yeah,
up.
watch Dream Warriors because these kids was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're about to go to sleep and we're gonna beat Freddy's ass. We're not about to be scared no more. I want to go to sleep and have
Well,
peace.
it's like
If
I'm
we
not
can't,
ever
nigga, we gotta
scared.
fuck
I'm not
Freddy
ever.
up.
Yeah, it's just I'm not ever scared. I mean, like maybe sometimes, like in some of my dreams, like I'm not. I've been scared. Like I've been scared, but like I also have like this old man who's been trying to like kill me in my dreams since I was like a little kid, and like I fucking like that dude blew half my face off in a dream, and I was still walking around with half my face blown off, and I freaking went after this dude. I've tried everything, and he still won't go away. So it's kind of like what the hell, you know? It doesn't even like matter like if I'm not afraid or not. It's just like kind of just has to happen that way, which is like it kind of fucks with my head because it's like it doesn't have to be that way, but it just is, you know? Because like I said, we always have a choice, and it's like I've tried to make these choices, and I've tried to like control the dream within the dream, and you know I get there, but it still doesn't really change the outcome, and that's what's like,
All right.
what the fuck, you know?
That leads to a theory. It leads to a theory of mine that I was pondering on, but like I
Mhm.
never looked deep into it. As like maybe our dreams is us going into different people and living their lives for a minute and experiencing what they're going through.
Well, I
But
also
I
think
never,
like our dreams too are also us, you know, regressing back into our own past lives as well. I think it's like a
yeah, it
it's
could be
so
that.
many different things. I think it's so many different things because I do think like our dreams, like um through shadow work and you know dream analysis, we can you know uncover our true name and recover our past life, you know, past lives through the dream realm and through shadow work, most definitely. And you can't really like figure it out. Like that's the thing too is like the more you try to like figure it out, the more it's not going to make sense. It just hits you, you know? So like that's kind of what I've been opening myself up to is just like being open to it and not like forcing it. And like that's the thing too is like the more push back kind of thing. And like the more you try to make sense of it and the more you try, like there is no try, it just happens. There's like, you know, try, just do. And that's kind of like what it is too. It's like you can't like figure it out, you know, it just kind of comes to you. And like the more
Yeah.
that you have these like synchronicities and these happenings, the more it reoccurs. And I'm like, I'm super sitting in it, super sitting in it. Like, so I think like I've been having this intuitive feeling that's been like encroaching upon me for years and just getting bigger and bigger. That, you know, something's gonna hit me. And hopefully it won't be another car crash, right?
Yeah.
Because that shit sucks. I'm still hurting really bad, and I think I'm gonna like turn into like Hunchback of Notre Dame soon or something because I'm slouching and but yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But I've been trying to do stretches and stuff, so if anybody's got some stretches they could recommend me. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
what's up.
yeah, it's just crazy. We're going into a lot, but I don't really care. I got plenty of time. But I did get to another part where it's really recent. So this is like February 2022. So we'll go into this real quick. In mid-February 2022, as tensions mounted between the US and Russia over Ukraine, Western media, including the BBC, MSNBC, and ABC News, widely publicized images of Valentina Konstantinovska, a 79-year-old Ukrainian, 79-year-old Ukrainian woman learning to handle an AK-47, endearingly
Damn.
described as a granny with a gun, without noting that her training was conducted by the right-wing extremist and neo-Nazi militia, the Azov Battalion. As early as 2015, Congress passed a spending bill that devoted hundreds of millions of dollars worth of economic and military support for Ukraine, which was specifically modified to allow that support to flow to the Azov regime. The Azov Battalion was formed in 2014 during the Odessa clashes and saw its first combat experience recapturing Mariupol from pro-Russian separatist forces. Azov was then incorporated into the National Guard of Ukraine, part of the armed forces that U.S. has now given $2.5 billion to assist with fighting against pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. That is despite the fact that Azov's former commander once said the historic mission of Ukraine is to lead the white races of the world in a final crusade for their survival, in a crusade against a Semite-led Untermenschen.
Wow.
Right.
Wow, they were even trying to start World War III.
And it's a psyop war. It's all based on propaganda and like memes and shit. It's like literally like just so weird. Like it's like seriously mimetic warfare. It's so bizarre because like this is like literally like the weirdest fucking meme ever. Like I wish somebody could like make a portrait meme of this situation. And I think there's probably tons of them online. I haven't even looked. So I'll probably be doing that after we get off here, looking for all the, memes portraying the situation that we're in. But as I'll go one further. As reported by John Pilger in The Guardian, like the ruins of Iraq and Afghanistan, Ukraine has been turned into a CIA theme park, run personally by CIA Director John Brennan in Kyiv, with dozens of special units from the CIA and FBI setting up a security structure that oversees savage attacks on those who oppose a February coup. According to a recent Yahoo News report, Yahoo!
I hear that.
Since 2015, according to 5 former intelligence and national security officials familiar with the operation, the CIA is overseeing a secret intensive training program at an undisclosed facility in the southern United States for elite Ukrainian special operations forces and other intelligence personnel. So, like we were saying earlier, that they're probably going to send a whole bunch of Ukrainian refugees and all this shit to the U.S. in states like Virginia, Florida, and Ohio. And they're going to set them here as sleeper cells. The covert program run by paramilitaries working for the CIA's ground branch, now officially known as Ground Department, was established by the Obama administration after Russia's invasion and annexation of Crimea in 2014 and expanded under the Trump administration and has been further augmented by the Biden administration. So they're all in bed together, bro.
Yep. That shit crazy.
That shit crazy. Obama, Biden and Obama be like, fuck Trump, man, he's me. When they're all doing this, they're all associated with each other, all in bed together, trying to accomplish the same goal.
Yeah.
And that's, it's crazy because, like, you know how many people that I know that like hate Donald Trump, hate like Nazis and all that, had all that rhetoric, right? That are supporting Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell they're talking about.
This shit crazy, man.
Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about with that UN vote. This is what we'll end it off with, this Ukraine fuckery. In a recent UN vote on combating glorification of Nazism, neo-Nazism, and other practices that contribute to fueling contemporary forms of racism, the only 2 countries to vote no were the U.S. and Ukraine. Let me repeat that again. In a recent UN vote on combating glorification of Nazism, neo-Nazism, and other practices that contribute to fueling contemporary forms of racism, end quote, the only 2 countries to vote no were the U.S. and Ukraine.
Yeah, bastards. You bastards.
That's insane. That's insane. So then we can go, a 2018 FBI affidavit asserted that Azov is believed to have participated in training and radicalizing United States-based white supremacy organizations. These include members of the white supremacist Rise Above movement, RAM, of Southern California, prosecuted for planned assaults on counter-protesters at far-right events, including the All Rights Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Although the perpetrator of the Christchurch Mosque massacre might not have traveled to Ukraine as he claimed, he nevertheless took inspiration from the far-right movement there and wore a symbol used by Azov members while carrying out the attack.
Damn.
Politico reported that the foreign infiltration of the American white supremacist movement is especially concerning to a number of law enforcement experts who say the Biden administration is failing to utilize the most powerful tool at its disposal to enable law enforcement to monitor such groups more closely. Foreign white supremacist groups can be designated as foreign terrorist organizations and providing material support, which is designated as a federal crime. January 5th, 2021, it was reported that Biden would nominate Victoria Nuland to serve as Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs under Secretary designate Antony Blinken, a former NSC official who was influential in formulating the Obama administration's response to Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014.
Damn.
What the hell? Mic drop on that. Like,
yep. For real.
That's insane. And there's still even more. Like, how? Like, how? You know, like, it's just insane. This is the most discombobulating fuckery that is like bestowed on the populace, and people are eating it up like candy. Yeah. Like, oh, there's a pedophile in the van and he's luring you in and you're taking the bait,
bro. These motherfuckers. Crazy. Man. I can't wait to dissect that article. I'm gonna dissect the shit out that article.
There's so much more in there that I left out. Yeah. Like, the big thing is, like, if you really want to know, like, a lot of these, like, chess game, you know, this, like, crazy black and white chessboard, checkerboard shit that they're playing. The Devil's Chessboard, and Alan Duels. You know, checking out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out now.
Yeah, that's a really insane book, and it's actually very hard to find on Amazon now, so that tells you something.
Do they got reviews on it on YouTube? Do they got some shit on it on YouTube, like audio book or something?
I don't know if they have an audio. I'm pretty sure that there should be one, you know, because, like, that's a really really good nitty-gritty book that was really well done in its research and all of that stuff. And plus, like, there's so many Jungian people in Jungian circles on the internet now that I think, like, have found, you know, that work that probably would be bringing that to the surface as well, because I find that very interesting how Jung was involved in that as well.
Talk about Carl Jung?
Yeah, Carl Jung.
Oh man! Oh shit!
So, like, I love Carl Jung to death, but after, like, finding out his involvement with the CIA, because, like, that's what they found out too, is, like, apparently, they only found this out, like, recently in, like, 2015, 2014, that apparently Carl Jung was the psychoanalyst for Mussolini, Stalin, and Hitler.
What?
So that's why he could have, like, knocked those dudes out cold. He had, like, every chance to do that, but he didn't. So, like, he pretty much could, like, in a way, I have this, like, kind of theory. I need to, like, really dig into that material. But, like, did Carl Jung develop, like, the collective like, these theories and pretty much create the sleeper grid for these elites to do what they're doing?
Right.
I don't know. I look at Carl Jung and, like, especially at his older pictures and just the way that I think that he was probably misled, and he had a lot of, you know, things going on in his inner realm that kind of distracted him from those larger truths and connections. But I don't know. That just means that he was just willfully ignorant, you know, and he was just too smart of a man for that too. But I don't personally want to believe that he was so crooked that he pretty much created this sleeper grid and all that stuff. But that means that he also created the way out too, so you can't really fault him for
that. Damn. Now I gotta check out the background of Alan Watts and Earl Nightingale, because I listen to them too. So
yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into Alan Watts being like, but like, what's his name? Manly P. Hall, Freemason.
Yep. I heard about that.
So yeah, it's just really sad because a lot of these, you know, these figureheads that really tout a lot of the information and knowledge and stuff that we have now, you know, you gotta commend them for it, all of their hard work and all of their diligence and everything like that and their discoveries. But then you also got to look at that. Like, there's a dark side to this.
Yeah, because Alan Watts is He's an English writer, speaker,
Mhm.
self-styled philosopher, entertainer, known for interpreting and popularizing Indian and Chinese traditions of Buddhist,
Yeah.
Taoist, and Hindu philosophy to the
Yeah, and
Western
he was
audience.
heavily influenced by Jung as well. And it's just kind of like it's just really sad though too because like why are like these pioneers of thought and intellect and all this stuff are just still in such controlled circles. Like when they gonna when are people like us gonna break into that box,
Right.
because like
Probably the only way to break
it's just it's not
the
fair. But like I mean life ain't fair, but fuck.
right.
Like we deserve to be, in the spotlight and seen for our intelligence and our uniqueness. And why is it so controlled?
Yeah.
Like these people are just birthing these people. It's not really, then it kind of makes you think, it's like, is that really unique and ingenious? No, it's not.
Man, this shit crazy.
But yeah. Welcome to the Cloak and Dagger Podcast.
Yeah.
I think round 3 was a charm. So we'll
Hell
see you
yeah,
next.
hell yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, we had an hour and 35, about to wrap it up.
Man, we packed it full. We packed it full for y'all. So I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yo. Oh, what you got up? What you got up for your next I mean what you working on? What you working on?
Well, I'm just kind of T really thinks that I should put together some like a quote book, and so I'm kind of working on that. I'm also trying to write some poetry again, and I did have a lot of works that were going to be in a poetry book like 2 years ago, but because of my situation in Oregon with all of that, a lot of things mishaps happened, and I lost a lot of my work, so I have to kind of start from scratch again. But luckily I'm connecting deeper within myself and in my relationships, and that's really inspiring me to move forward with my writing, and hopefully I can get something put together for everybody to see.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Sounds wonderful.
I
That's
also
what's
want
up.
to eventually, once I'm going to be moving here soon and helping my family and all that stuff. So once I get settled back in somewhere, hopefully like by the end of the year, it's still going to be a long way out. I got to take care of my brother's memorial too, as well. But after all of this like shit settles, hopefully I can start making music.
That's
So
what's up. That's
yeah,
what's up.
it's going to be a mix of like pop, punk. It's probably going to be everything because I kind of want to dabble with everything and see what sticks.
Yeah, oh well like personally I say like like find your best strengths in your music and exploit it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because I mean, I sing. I like to sing, and I write lyrics. I've helped a couple of my friends write lyrics for their bands, and some of them are doing really well. So there's that strong suit, but I'm not sure. I haven't found my own sound, my unique sound, and where it's going to be. So that'll be fun to find out.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. Exploring yourself, that's gonna be awesome. It's
Yep. You gotta
endless
go deeper
possibilities.
within. You gotta go deeper within, and like whatever you got to bring that forth, whatever is within you. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
That's what's up. That sounds good.
Heck yeah.
Well, shout out to the live chat. Everybody, thank y'all for coming through to the Kloak and Dagger Podcast. This was Ocean Dweller. I'm Hurykane. Thank y'all for coming through, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yep. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.